Hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you again, and I thank God for this opportunity for us to learn together. And it is a great privilege that you're allowing me to come into your home, into any facility you're sitting at, to be able to discuss and to evaluate and see where we are in life, and to use this information to help us better ourselves and better our life. Every day is a chance for us to better ourselves, and meaning that we're gonna have a better life. That's what it means. So every day we have a chance. As long as you're alive, you have a chance to better your life. And the only way we can do that to better our life is we need the information. And what information is that? God wisdom. And this is what we're going to be covering. Today we're going to cover something that's very interesting. It's called the bread of shame. Also, it's attached to partnership with God. God created us to be a partner with him in his creation, in this creation, which is his creation. So we are a partner with him. And there are many different ways that we partner up with God, and we're not even aware of that. So I'm going to give you a few examples and our examples of different ways that we are partners with God. So to best understand this bread of shame and why we have to partner up with God, they both go hands in hand, okay? And to kind of give you a feel to the direction, why am I a partner and why am I ashamed? Why would it's called bread of shame? This will tie it in pretty nicely, hopefully. So let's look at it for a minute. Let's say that you lost your job, okay? You have nowhere to go, you're homeless, you're living in the street. And then your friend decides to take you in, okay? Because you have a good friend and he or she is willing to help you. They bring you in, or she brings you in. They give you a roof over your head. You have everything. You can access every part of the house, okay? It's as if it's your own house. Now, the very first day you being there, you feel comfortable. You're happy, they're happy, you feel excited, and you're willing to accept being treated like a king, basically. So you don't mind they're serving you, they're asking if you want this or that, they're bringing it to you, and they're serving you. But it's okay. You're okay with that because this is your first day. The second day, they do it again, but you're starting to feel a little bit, oh, okay, it doesn't feel quite right, but you're still accepting it. Now, after a week now, you're starting to feel uncomfortable because every day your friend wakes up, cook breakfast, and also will prepare lunch and also dinner, and they will serve this to you. Now you're starting to feel guilty. Now you want to do something. Why? Because you no longer feel comfortable. Even though they're doing something very nice for you, they're helping you out, you don't feel comfortable. So what do right away? You offer, hey, can I help with the dishes? Can I take out the garbage? Now you want to do what? You want to contribute because you don't want to just take anymore. You want to feel that you earned whatever it is that they're giving you or what they're helping you with. You want to feel like you earn or you contribute to some degree. You want to contribute. Now, depending on how long you stay, the longer you stay, the more things you're going to find and the more uncomfortable you're going to become because you could do everything there is in the house. You could fix the roof, paint the house, cut the yard, repair the car. You could do all of these chores that needs to be done around the house, but you're still going to feel some level of shame. Why? Why is that shame is there? That shame is there because you feel like you either did not do enough to get what your friend is giving you. As long as you feel you did not do enough, it's going to feel some level of shame. You're going to experience that. And this is the thing that God is trying to prevent us from feeling when we go upstairs. He wants us to feel that we earned it to come upstairs, that we don't feel like he's giving us everything. Okay, so when someone is giving you everything, it doesn't feel comfortable. It really feels uncomfortable, even though their intention is absolutely wonderful, like your friend. They don't even, it doesn't matter that you're there. They don't mind. But again, you feel uncomfortable. So that's one example of where you start to feel shame, even though you feel that your friend is sincere, but there's a point where you feel I have to do something. I have to get out of here. I have at least have to find a job to get back on my feet. Why you don't want to just take advantage and lay there? Because that shame. Okay. So the next one, example we can give is again, let's look at when you borrow money. Let's say you borrow money from a friend. Now think about what I'm going to say. Even though you need that money at that moment, and there is a degree, even though you go to borrow that money, you kind of feel a bit of shame, a little bit, because you feel like, wow, look how I sunk down for me to go to my friend to borrow money. But again, you know you need it, it's necessary. So you move forward and you borrow the money. But what happens when you made a promise, I'm gonna pay you next Friday, and you cannot pay them because you don't have it? When that time comes, that Friday, the deadline, you start to feel shame, or you start to worry about, how am I going to pay this person? How am I going to face my friend? I know he's my friend, but you still feel some kind of shame. And if you face them, if you happen to run across them, you're going to try to avoid them if you see them coming, because why? You don't know what to say. You feel shame. You don't know what to say. But this is your best friend. But it doesn't matter. I still feel a certain level of shame. Where is the shame coming from? It's coming from when people give you something, you feel that you need to earn that. That's where it's coming from. You feel you need to earn it. I don't want to be given it. Now, there are certain situations you can get into where people help you out to get back on your feet. But again, if you've ever been in that situation before where you're down and somebody help you, even though they love you and care for you, you still feel a level of shame. You just do. Okay? So this is something that's called bread of shame. Okay? Because you didn't earn it. You don't feel like you earned it. Now, another example I can give you is think about where you have two people. One of them is a gangster, and one, let's just say, happened to be a bystander. And now the gangster, his intention was to kill him, to kill this person. But because this person somehow ended up saving the gangster child, maybe a year or 2 years ago, he found out, hey, you're the one that saved my son. Now he feel like he's in debt to that person he was supposed to contract to kill. He was contracted to kill this person, but he's willing to let that contract go because he feel he owes that person for saving his son's life a year ago. But this is a killer. He gets paid to do that, but still he can't bring himself to do it because I owed you. I don't want to be in your debt. Even if I were to go through with it and kill you, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. Because why? I am in debt to you, and now I can't pay that debt. So the only way you and I can be equally again at the same level is for me to pay off my debt. So where does that come from? We see that on television pretty much all the time. People who are in situations, they want to pay off their debt. Even if they don't like you, they want to pay off their debt towards you. So again, you see, this is something that's part of our genetic that we can't get rid of. And again, this applies to, the normal people I'm speaking about. We do know people who have no shame, who will take advantage of other people. We all know that. But people who are decent, normal people, it's going to bother you. It's going to drive you crazy. It's just part of our design. So therefore, we have to earn this. Now, how do we earn this? How did God create this for us not to feel this so-called bread of shame? Well, he says, you know what? I don't want you to feel this shame. So we're going to create a partnership, meaning you and I are going to partner up. So how is it that God and I are partners? How did he design this partnership? Well, let's look at a few examples. Let's look at a husband and wife. Okay, and then we'll build ourselves up. A husband and wife is a partnership. We agree we're going to be a family. We're going to be a unit. Now, in that partnership, I know my part, my responsibility as the husband, and you know your part, your responsibility as a wife. So when we come together, we become one unit. So I don't feel like I'm being cheated. You don't feel like you're being cheated. We're both doing our part, so we both feel comfortable. Now, have you ever been in a relationship where you feel it was one-sided? Think about it. Now, the person that was putting all the weight, how did that make you feel? And the person that was contributing, how did that make you feel? Especially a man who's been out of work and his wife is working to take care of the family and he's not working. You ask any man who is normal, they're going to tell you they feel shame. They do. Because they feel like I should be bringing the money into the household. You feel like he's not contributing. He's not doing his part of the partnership. Okay, so there you see there's shame within that. Even though he loves his wife and he knows his wife loves him and she's doing the best she can, and she knows he's doing the best he can to find the work, but he still feels shame. Even though she's supportive, she's loving, she's caressing him, but he still feels shame. Why? Because that's part of the design. The design means that we have to do our part too. We have to contribute. So now that's the husband and wife. Now let's go to the next level. Children. This is where we're coming in closer to being partnership with God. Well, what does children have to do with being a partner with God? Well, it's what God has done. First, let's look at the husband and wife. Husband and wife give 50% DNA, right? So you see, partnership. The wife give 50, the husband give 50. And now a child is created. But it doesn't stop there. Where does God come in? Well, God has a partnership in that child too, right? And what is that partnership? Is you, the husband and the wife, provide the body, and God provides the soul. You see? You provide the physical body, and God provides the soul. This is why it says in the Bible, God says, raise him in my ways. Well, who is this person, him? Who is him? Him meaning that child. The physical body you gave. You contribute the physical body. But now I'm putting the soul in there. So I want you to educate this child, this soul that I have placed inside this body you provided. Give him my information. Teach him my information. Because this is the way I want him to function in the world. So that's another level of partnership, as you can see. And what is the partnership? We have to educate that child in his ways. Okay? So we have our ways and God's ways, but again, we have to become one. And that's what he has created for us to be a partner with him. And it's, when you think about it, it's absolutely beautiful. It really, really is beautiful to know that God wants us to be a partner, not just sit there idly. And he designed that in our DNA, in our soul, in our spirit, in our gut feeling, to feel I need to do something. I need to contribute. You see, I need to contribute. And this is one of the most beautiful things that for me, when I started really looking at this in more in depth, I started saying, wow, how awesome is that? You know, that just completely escaped me, not thinking or not being aware that we are a partner with God in this creation. It just absolutely blows me away. Now, again, when you get to heaven, God doesn't want you to feel shame. He wants you to feel proud that you did your part here. So when you stand before him, you're not having your head down. You feel like you contribute. You did your part. So whatever reward he gives you, you know you earned that reward. It makes sense. Well, think about it when you go to work, right? When you go to work and you work very hard and the boss hands you that paycheck, don't you feel good? You know you earned that paycheck. You know you earned it. Is there anything the boss can say or make you feel guilty? Absolutely not. Because you know you earned that paycheck. Okay? So again, this is the partnership. And let's look at another one again. Let's look at business partners. Let's say two people want to start a business, right? And each one contributes 50% of the capital up front, right? So if you were to do it by yourself, you can't come up with all the money. So you decide, hey, I'm gonna get somebody in to be a partner with me, put up 50% of the capital. And is it just 50% of the capital? No. It means also 50% of the work he or she will take on and I will take on as well. What does that mean? That means it makes it a lot easier for me to run and operate this business because I have a partner that will help me in this endeavor. So we're going to be working as one in order for us to get this off the ground. Now, we think about what this shame is. Where is that shame? And the reason why it has to be this way, we have to work to do this, is this. Because the bottom line is this. God doesn't want you to be in heaven, not enjoying heaven. That's the bottom line. He doesn't want you to feel you're not enjoying heaven. So now let's say, how could this happen? Let's say you keep messing up in life, you keep doing the wrong thing, getting into a hole, and you praying all the time, you praying, and then God is constantly bailing you out, right? He constantly bailing you out. Now let's look at a rich person. Let's say a rich child who is a father keep bailing him out of trouble, right? There has to be a level of shame after a while. Every time, oh, you can't look at your father anymore. Now your father's coming again to bail you out. You don't want to even look at him. You can't even look at your father in the face because how many times he has to bail you out before you get it? So now you're ashamed, even though you've been messing up. But he keeps doing it, but it gets to a point where you just can't look at your own father. So this is what he doesn't want to happen. He doesn't want you to be able to get into heaven and for you not to be able to look at him because you are ashamed. So how do we overcome that shame when God is bailing us out? The only way to overcome that shame when God is bailing us out, because he understands we're children, we are his children, we are his creation, we're going to make mistakes. The only way you're not going to feel ashamed is when he bails you out is for you not to repeat that sin again. For you not to do it again. Same thing with a rich father. He bails his son out, and if his son doesn't repeat it, his son can stand before his father and not feel shame. Why? Because he made a mistake and he did not repeat it. But when you keep repeating the same mistake again, there's a point where you're going to feel ashamed. So that's the only way we can get that, where we will not feel embarrassed when we stand before God. We will not be ashamed because why? We made the mistake, but we repent, we didn't repeat it again, and now we feel comfortable to stand before our Heavenly Father. And again, I hope you enjoy this, and I want to thank you for joining me. Remember, life, as long as you're still alive, you still have a chance to have the life you want. And the only way you can have that is through this information. Use this, apply it to your life, and you're going to see the change. You're going to see the difference in your life and the people that's close to you as well. And people who know you will also start to see you changing because why? Your mindset is starting to change. Thank you for joining me. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.